Hi angels, welcome back to another resin video. So in this video we're going to be making another resin shaker hard clutch purse. So cute. I've made a ton of these. It's really the same steps. I just got some new foil sheets. I was like, oh, this is so cute. So I already have part 1 of how I made the shaker part of the bag. This is just part 2 of how I just assemble everything together. So what I did was I mixed up some, this looks like the bronze. I already mixed up my resin off camera, so I just put some pigments inside of there, mix everything up, and I'm just going to be pouring it down into the heart mold. I realized that I needed a little bit more resin, so I just mixed that up real quickly. Mix in, so that we don't have any chunk pieces, and everything's just nice and smooth, like butter. Now we can just pour it down. And I mixed the perfect amount, so that was perfect. Look at how beautiful that color is. Gorgeous. I don't want to overfill it so that it spills, so I'm just letting it slowly work its way down. And if there's any bubbles that need to rise to the top, can just rise and pop on their own. Actually, I didn't mix the perfect amount. I mixed up a little bit too much. But yeah, now I'm just going over it with my lighter to get rid of any little tiny air bubbles that might be there. And we're just going to let this sit and cure for 24 hours. 24 hours is going to be dry, but it's going to be a little bit bendy. So let's just let it sit in there for like 2 days so that it can come out harder out of the mold. Now I'm just going around doing some squiggly line. This makes absolutely no difference, but I just like doing it. It looks so cool. And that's it. So this is a shaker part. I already did a part 1 of how I did this, like what I said. But this is how it looks. I didn't like the way how it turned out. I was like, maybe you want me to be able to see it. So I decided to add some black UV resin to the back of it, thinking to myself that it's going to pop out more, but they just completely disappear. I completely messed up on this. I thought that it would be more vibrant. Maybe I should have went in with a different color. I should have just left it just the way how it was, because it was fine. Now it's time to assemble the bag. We can just pop it out of the mold. We have the frame for the bag that I got from Amazon, the UV resin from Amazon, and the butterfly glitters from Amazon as well. And we're going to be using some, in that little bottle at the corner is some baby oil. And we're going to go over everything with the UV lights. So I'm just putting the bag together just to see how it's looking. To secure everything, you can either use some E6000 glue or some UV resin, whichever way works best for you. But I usually just go with some E6000 glue, just let it sit overnight and dry. So now I'm just putting down there the heart glitter into the center. Some of it did fell out, so I'm just trying to pick it up one by one. Now for the shaker part of the bag, we're just going to go over the edge with a little bit of some UV resin. Not too much, you just need a little bit. It's a little tiny drip. You just place it down into the center, make sure that it's in a good place. Sometimes it's sticking up, so you have to press down on it to make sure it's laying down flat. And then you're just going to be using your UV light to make sure that it's cured properly, that it sticks on there properly, that it's not leaking up, and that you're good to go. Because you're going to be putting liquid inside, so you're going to make sure that there's no leakage. So I always go over it a few times with the UV light and more UV resin just to make sure that everything is good to go. So that's what I'm doing here. Going around and around with the UV light. And that's it. Everything that I'm going to be using in this video, I'll leave a link for it down in the description box down below. If you want to try making your own resin clutch purse. Super easy. You don't have to make it into a shaker, just to make a simple purse. After doing that, to make sure it's extra secure, I always just go over the edge with a little bit more of some UV resin, just a little bit. You don't need a lot. And since I already drilled a hole up top, I make sure to avoid that part with any UV resin, because I want to make sure that it secures everything and I can still squeeze stuff inside. And I just go over the edge and pop any of those little tiny bubbles. And now I'm just going to be curing it again with my UV light. And that's it. Well, that's not it, but that's the final step with the UV resin, UV light. Just making sure you go over all of the edges. I went over it a few times. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Make sure that you get all the corners, all the sides. Keep switching it around in circles. Well, you guys get the idea, so let's just skip to the next step. Fast forward. And we're back. So, everything is fully cured with a UV light. In this squeeze bottle, I got some baby oil. I don't know how it happened, but the top part of the bottle broke where the needle is, so some of the baby oil was unfortunately spilling out, which made this process longer than it had to be, honestly. This girl was taking like 2 steps. So every 2 seconds I had to keep on pulling up the needle so that it could stick inside. Just squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it until it fills all the way up. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to fill it all the way up because the bottle was squeezing out and it's making a complete mess. At this point, I was like, let me just hurry up and just get this over with. Tilt it to the side. Oops. And it just completely spilled out. Then I just used a little napkin to clean it up. I was like, okay, that's it. So the little hole that I drilled up top, I just put a little bit more, some UV resin to cover up the hole. And now I'm just curing it with my UV light so that it doesn't leak out when I tilt it over to the other side. So that's what I'm doing there. Making sure that it's cured properly. You can check it with your fingers to see if it looks good to go. Check it, it looks good. Wipe off the extra baby oil. Flipping it over to see how it looks as it slowly falls down and everything is working perfectly fine. There's no leakage. I'm just shaking up so the glitter could fall faster so that it's not sticking at the bottom. You can see that there's a big space there. I could have definitely filled it up way more with more of the UV resin. Not UV resin, with the baby oil. I need to start drilling at the bottom and then just squeeze the baby oil in there. That would work so much better. So I'm just shaking to see how it looks. It looks pretty cool, but I totally messed up on the shaker part. You can't see the foil sheet, and the foil sheet is the best part. She's just hugging him. It looks so cute, so romantic. But I messed up on that, so yeah. I'm just taking pictures of it. In the pictures, you can definitely see it way better. This is the inside of the purse. You can put stuff in there, nothing will leak out. Here's a close-up of how it looks. It looks like if they're just surrounded by darkness, kind of like a bad aura is around them. Looks interesting. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!